Can small mobile speakers produce low frequency sound? In yesterday's little Q&A, I talked about how size does matter when it comes to loudspeakers and low frequencies. If you're going to go low in frequency, you're going to need a bigger diameter, a larger speaker. And what I mean with a small mobile speaker, here's a good example. This is a Bose SoundLink Mini. It's a little Bluetooth speaker, and I must say I'm very impressed with this little guy's ability to reproduce low frequency content. It sounds rather good when you play music on this one. It shouldn't sound that good from a device that is this small and also portable. So I mean, if you put this one close to a corner in a room and you put on some nice music, you're gonna have a great bass response from something of this size. And how is this possible? I mean, it can go really low despite its size. Well, I think there are some certain techniques that you can use, and it's called Helmholtz resonance. I'm not sure that they use it in this little one, but it's one of the techniques that we use in loudspeakers. So this is a familiar example that you probably all know about with. See, you get a tone when you blow in the bottle, and the tone that you get depends on the diameter, and it depends on how long this one is. If we're gonna saw it in half, you would get another tone, and how large volume you got encapsulated in here inside. So this means if we were to attach a loudspeaker on this bottle here, you would get a resonance frequency here. So that bottle loudspeaker would be great at reproducing and get a little bump in its frequency response, close to how you design your loudspeaker cabinet. It's like a bass reflex port. And another way to do something similar is to use a slave bass. Sometimes you have loudspeakers that have, you know, one woofer element, biggest of them, and then there can be like a fake loudspeaker. It looks like a driver, but maybe it's not a driver. It's just there. It's not just that for show, because this one will act in the same way as the Helmholtz resonance. And when I look at this one with the light and close to it, I can see that there's like two elements here and here on the sides, and there's something in the middle. I guess this might be some kind of miniature subwoofer. And then there is something here on the back. So this might be either it's a second element or it's a slave bass. I don't really know, because I'm not that kind of an expert in loudspeakers, but that's my two guesses at least. And what happens when you add this kind of either Helmholtz resonator with a bass reflex port or a slave bass is that if we look at the frequency response of a loudspeaker, then if you have a frequency here on this axis, and then you have the let's just call it dB, how much sound do you get out from your speaker here. Now if you have a closed cabinet, no bass reflex ports, it's just a closed box with a loudspeaker that is producing sound, then let's say you could get something like this, for instance. Now if we were to add a bass reflex port to this closed cabinet, a little opening, and we do this thing with our loudspeaker cabinet, we could get that kind of hump. So we get something, oh wait, we should be pedagogical here, and we do it in a different color. So this would be like with the Helmholtz. I think it should behave something like that instead. So if we could do, let's call it bass reflex port, and the other one would be closed cabinet. And you can see here that you get this hump here, and when you change the diameter or the length and the volume inside, you can choose how you want this hump to look, what it should look like, where it should be, how wide or thin, and stuff like that. And that way you can design a loudspeaker that has a really great bass response down here, even though it requires perhaps a smaller size than the closed cabinet version. So I'm just gonna sketch. So you see that the closed cab would probably go like this, and the bass reflex would get a hump like that. But what happens is that down here it drops off quite rapidly, and I think we can hear it with this little Bose thing. If I start playing some sound here, we're at 100 hertz now. Okay, let's go back to the to this one again, so we can see what we're doing. Now we got 100 hertz, and I'll sweep it down towards 80, and we go even bit lower below 80, and it just dies off very quickly when I pass a certain frequency band. And I tried this one with a Harman Kardon loudspeaker Bluetooth, a little bigger one, about this size. It's like a half rounded shape. Maybe some of you know which one I'm talking about. A little bigger portable Bluetooth speaker. And it could play strong bass all the way down to 40 hertz, but 39 it just died. So it was very, very abrupt. And that's when they design the loudspeaker to play as low as possible and give a strong, powerful bass. Actually, this one is a bit, it's too much actually. When I'm listening to podcasts and stuff like that, the bass is overwhelming in this one. So I'll have to move it into the room to reduce the bass response. If you keep it in, you can try this. If you have one of these or similar, place it in a corner with hard surfaces around, and see what happens to the bass. It's gonna be quite a powerful response when you do that. So if you wanted to have just a feeling in your chest, you should put it in a corner. That's a good idea. But when you listen to speech, it might be overpowering. Yeah, that's a little Q&A about how small mobile speakers can produce low frequency sound. And of course, I mean, the more you do this tweaking and magic tricks, you might also get some distortions, and it's gonna be more difficult to get a really clean, crisp sound. So, I mean, if you want really good bass, you're still gonna be better off if you get a larger diameter on the speaker membrane. But it requires space, and yeah, there's always a trade-off. You need to be able to furnish your room in a nice way too. So that also needs to be taken into account. And anyway, keep the questions coming. I love it. I learn a lot by doing this as well. And if I'm said anything here that is wrong or incorrect or might need to be added to it, so please give me a comment, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this, because I'm figuring things out as I go here too. So in today's video, I'm doing a old trick that I often use with clothes. I didn't really know what should I wear today. Then I look outside and I see snow. I see green trees with snow on them, and I see some brown from the branches, and I see gray and blue colors with the ocean and the sky. So I just and then there's still darkness here now also. So this is just the colors of nature today. That always works for me, because I'm kind of blessed with that way, with my complexion and my hair color and beard color and everything. I just look at nature, I replicate what I see, and it works really good. So that's you can try out that trick. Look at nature, see what colors you got there, and then you try to combine your wardrobe accordingly. And see you guys later. Ciao.